Hi, my name is Julie and welcome back to the Yes List, Luxury Car Edition. This is a series where I review some of the most desirable luxury SUVs and put them to the test. Not only on the badge or on the looks, but whether it actually deserves a yes. And today's car, the 2022 Land Cruiser Prado VXL 2.8 GD Auto, a 7-seater that carries just as much legend as it carries luxury. Some might call it old school, others call it bulletproof. But is it still the right kind of luxury SUV in a world where tech and glamour mean more to people than toughness? That's exactly what we're going to find out. The Prado has a look that hasn't changed much over the years. And that's the whole point. It's bold, it's big, and it's instantly recognizable. The high stance, the bold grille, and the square body makes it look like a proper 4x4 first and a luxury SUV second. This car doesn't try to be flashy like the Range Rover or sleek like a GLC. It rather leans into the timeless toughness. Some might say it looks a little bit dated compared to its rivals, but for Prado fans, that's exactly the appeal. It looks just as ready for cross-country trek as it does for school runs. Inside, the VXL trim gives you a lot more refinement than you would expect from a rugged SUV like this. It's got leather seats, a sunroof, and a 9-inch touchscreen infotainment system with Apple CarPlay, Android Auto, as well as a 3-zone climate control to keep everyone happy. You also get powered everything, even the adjustable seats. Yes, it's not as futuristic as the Mercedes or as plush as the Range Rover, but the Prado's cabin has a sense of practicality. Big buttons, sturdy controls, and a layout that works whether you're in Sandton traffic or somewhere deep in the Karoo. Toyota has been catching up on the tech side, and the Prado VXL gets a healthy dose of modern features. There's adaptive cruise control, blind spot monitoring, rear cross traffic alert, lane departure warning, and road sign recognition. You also get a 360-degree camera setup, which is a lifesaver in something this big. The Prado's infotainment system isn't as slick as Range Rover's dual system, but it does the job well with Apple CarPlay, Android Auto, and clear menus. Where the Prado sets itself apart is the tech that you won't see in most luxury SUVs, the off-road tools. A full-time 4x4 system, locking differentials, and Toyota's crawl control, which is like off-road cruise control for rocks, sand, or mud. It's less gadget luxury and more adventure luxury. Let's talk about power and drive. Under the bonnet, you get a 2.8-litre turbo diesel with 150 kilowatts and 500 newton meters of torque, paired to a 6-speed automatic. Now, on paper, that doesn't sound so impressive compared to the rivals, but in real life, it's all about effortless torque. Overtaking is steady instead of speedy or sporty, but once the car is going, it feels effortless. It's not quick, but it's smooth, predictable, can pull a trailer and cruise at 120 all day. That's the Prado's personality. It's not here to win drag races, but it's here to never let you down. Here's the surprising part. The Prado is incredibly comfortable. The suspension soaks up bumps like a sponge, and the high seating position gives you a very commanding view of the road. The Prado doesn't feel like it's floating like the Range Rover, and it's not as sharp as the Mercedes, but it is very comfortable for long road trips. This is the SUV I choose if I had to road trip across South Africa. It's quiet, it's smooth, and it feels like it could go all day long. This Prado is a proper 7-seater. It's not one of those 5-seaters that say it has 2 extra seats, but it's only 2 pop-up jump seats that no one can actually fit in. This actually fits adults. Now come look here, it's actually very cool. You have these 2 automatic buttons and there's no manual labor here. These seats come up automatically, very, very smoothly, very cool. But I have 2 concerns. There's little to no boot space when the 7 seats are up, so you need to plan accordingly. And then these headrests are really, really nice. You can pop them up. It's really comfortable for the back seats, but It kind of restricts your view as the driver, so reversing might be difficult. You can see it's very big, there's little to no view from the front, so it's something you also need to keep in mind. Towing capacity is also very strong. It can handle 3 tons, and thanks to its ladder construction, it can handle rough roads and heavy loads without breaking a sweat. Let's talk about the value. Here's where things get a little interesting. Now, I picked this car up with 35,000 kilometers on the clock from WeBuyCars for just over R1 million. Now, at first glance, that feels a little pricey, especially when you remember the Mercedes GLC 300D that we reviewed the other day with similar age and mileage, and also for just over R1 million. So why does the Prado hold its value so well? It's all about reputation. A Prado can easily run 300,000 kilometers and still feel super solid, and buyers know that. Where the Mercedes is a little bit of a different story. It loses a chunk of its value the moment you drive out of the dealership, whereas the Prado barely shifts. It's not that it's cheaper up front, but in 5 or 10 years when you want to go and sell it, you'll get more back. So in other words, the Prado is expensive to buy, but cheaper to own long term. It's time for the value showdown. Let's stack it up against the Range Rover we reviewed in the previous episode. The Range Rover Sport came in at under 900,000 Rand, but with 85,000 kilometers already on the clock. That made it a luxury bargain up front, loads of car for less money, but with higher mileage and bigger running costs. The Prado, by contrast, costs over 1 million Rand, but only has 35,000 kilometers. It looks more expensive now, but long term, it's a safer play. Range Rovers lose value quickly and can cost more to keep happy. Prados barely budge in price and will probably be worth a fortune even 10 years from now. So which one is better value? If you want short-term bang for buck, the Range Rover is hard to ignore. But if you want long-term peace of mind, then the Prado is the car for you. On the flip side, the Prado might be a little bit behind the curve in some areas. The design is conservative, the infotainment isn't as refined as with the rivals, and the engine, although reliable, isn't as exciting. Now, if you're into flashy and wow factor, the Prado might be a little bit too safe. So what makes this car so special? The X factor of the Prado is its confidence. It's luxury you can take literally anywhere. The Range Rover might hesitate in the mud, the Mercedes doesn't fit into the bush, but the Prado can go everywhere. It can cruise through Africa and still rock up at a luxury hotel and feel right at home. That's a unique kind of luxury. Not showing off, not chasing trends, just quietly doing everything everywhere without breaking a sweat. So it's time for the verdict. Does the Prado VXL deserve a yes? If your idea of luxury is tech screens and sport car numbers, then no. But if your idea of luxury is space, comfort, and the ability to go anywhere, then the Prado deserves a yes. It's not the most modern, not the most powerful, and not the flashiest, but it's the kind of SUV that wins you over mile by mile, year by year, until you realize why so many families swear by it. And that's why the Prado is still a legend. That wraps up this week's episode of the Yes List Luxury Car Edition. I'll see you next week. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment what car we should do next.